healthier than ever. And even his bread's better. And of course, he loves the box too. Sports are great. But sometimes, when I accidentally hit a batter known as the pulverizer, come here! I can't help but wonder, is sport clips better than sports? Because sports plus Massaji shampoo beats sports plus headlocks.
This makes me feel way less pulverized.
Sport clips. It's a game changer.
Closed captioning brought to you by Skechers Wide Fit Glide Step.
Wearing regular shoes feels this cramped. With Wide Fit Skechers slip-ins, you just step in and go. No bending down, no touching my shoes. Try Wide Fit Skechers slip-ins.
After a month of NATO allies rebuffing President Trump's calls to help with the war in Iran, he is again threatening to leave the alliance. In an interview with The Telegraph, he was asked about whether the U.S. could withdraw from NATO, and he said, "Oh yes, I would say beyond reconsideration." He also called NATO a, quote, paper tiger, and added that Putin knows that too. Part of his anger is because European allies, as we were just discussing, have so far said no to sending their navies to go into the Strait of Hormuz. Some of them have said no to allowing the United States to launch attacks from their territories, which is a pretty significant no. And as we were talking before the break, I think we have the oil futures or the gas prices right now, and the Dow futures right now. Gas prices are up. It was about 4% when I looked at it earlier. Still 4% of crude oil and Brent crude. The markets are basically saying, we don't really think that this thing is going to get resolved anytime soon.
I do just have to remark, looking at those oil numbers, and the president said this several times, and it's hard to disaggregate what he's saying that is hyperbolic, what he's saying that is sincere. When he says we expected it to be way worse than this, I entirely believe him. The fact that oil is trading around 100 with the Strait of Hormuz being closed now for 4 weeks is insane. This is so much less dramatic than I think the expectation was. And it reminds me of the concerns about what Hezbollah would do against Israel if there was significant action, the tens of thousands of rockets that would rain down, and Israel was able to neutralize that threat without that doom. We were talking earlier about the popularity, about the polling, and that's something that strikes me is we have seen in the past 4 weeks one of the most significant tactical military achievements since the Gulf War. I mean, just a incredible show of strength and of force. I'm talking about the initial one, the happy one that we like to talk about in 91, right? The shock and awe that brought back the American sense of pride in the wake of Vietnam and the defeat there. The fact that the American people are not supporting it has very little to do with what's happened, has everything to do with the fact that it is trailing in the polling to Donald Trump's approval rating, as is the operation in Venezuela. The operation in Venezuela is 30 points more popular in Venezuela than in the United States.
So wait, so what are you suggesting?
I'm saying that Donald Trump, and he's
you think this is a Trump thing? It's because Trump is so unpopular?
I think that if there was capitulation from day one and Trump was getting a parade down the Grand Boulevard in Tehran, he would still be sitting at the similar approval rating because of
Don't you think Americans are rational about paying $1 more
I've seen
per
very little
gallon of
rationality.
gas? And that seems actually quite rational. I mean, I don't share your skepticism of the American people. I think they understand, but they don't think that this. I think they are saying very clearly they do not think that this step needed to be taken, and that's actually Trump's own fault because he told them a year ago that he had already done the job. He had already neutralized the nuclear program. So then for him to come back and say, well, we need to wage a war, that seems like a bait and switch. I think Americans are rationally saying, what on earth is that about?
Well, over in Europe, you heard Christine Lagarde already say last week, you're going to see the reverberations of this war. Everybody watches that oil number. It's not just that number to watch. I was just after the speech talking to somebody who's very brilliant on financial markets. And they said to me, Rita, you're going to see the shocks continue.